everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another video. Now this is going to be a completed valley tour, so I have now finished every biome in my valley, so I'm going to be kind of doing a walkthrough of each biome I have done. It is going to be a very long video, so make sure you grab a drink and a snack and kind of stick on in there because it is going to be quite a big one, but I do want to go through every part of each biome I've done because I'm very happy with how it's turned out, and hopefully it can kind of inspire some people of how they might want to do their valley, or people might see things that I've potentially missed that they think I could add in. So we will get started in the Plaza. Obviously this is the main hub when you first get in the game. So as you can see, I've kind of just done this main entranceway off of the kind of wishing well spawn area, and I've used some of the new archways and the Mickey fountain to kind of just create this mini little courtyard area. Now as you can see, my plaza is very much a city theme, so I've used the pathways along the side to create pavements, and then the different kind of asphalt paving to create what is supposed to be roads. And on the first right hand side we have got the Monsters Inc apartment from the premium shop, and just some things outside for that. We've got some cars on the roads like Vanellope's car. I don't have as many vehicles as I wish. I'm missing some of the old Star Path ones. Hopefully I'll get those at some point. And then next to the Monsters Inc apartment we have Remy's, which just has some cute little tables outside where he's serving people some food and some drinks, and a little ice cream stand, which really reminds me of a hot dog stand you'd seen in a busy city. So that was kind of the vibe I was going for. Around the corner of this I just have a couple of the kind of vending machines and little kind of treat areas. I just think these look kind of cute in this little spot, as though people would come here and grab a snack from the vending machine, and we did recently get these with the new update, so I wanted to include them somewhere. Now across from Remy's we obviously, as you can see, have Scrooge's. Now outside the front of Scrooge's we have one of the topiary squares with just lots of flowers around. I just think it looked really cute here as kind of a little bit of a centerpiece before you head into Scrooge's. Obviously I've got my portal outside so people can visit, and next to Scrooge's I have this little mini courtyard area that I did make in a speed build, so if you haven't seen that, go and have a watch. I kind of go through how I made it, but it's just this spot here next to Scrooge's I didn't really know what to do with, so I kind of created this very kind of money themed courtyard area. Now as we come out of Scrooge's, obviously we head down to the opposite side of the road. Now this originally had the road going all the way through, but when we got the new Mickey fountain I wanted to create kind of just this little mini courtyard where I could show it off, and the addition of the archways and the fountains kind of just tied it all together. As you can see, I've mimicked the kind of bench and clock tower setup on the left hand and right hand side to match, and then on the left, the first building on this side is the Mike and Sully apartment we got when they came with their characters. This fits perfectly in a city, and next to that we have the brand new bakery. Now this spot was empty for a while, and I was literally just waiting for the bakery to come so I could do my valley tour. To be honest, I put it off as long as I possibly could until this building came in because I knew this was the spot it was going to go in, and I absolutely adore how this looks. I think it's one of the nicest sort of house skins in the game. I think it's such a cute addition and really well done, and I've just placed some flowers and some tables outside the front of that. And directly opposite we obviously have Remy's restaurant with just some seating outside the front, this really cute archway, and I've gone for a very kind of upscale romantic theme for this build. I kind of wanted it to look very sort of fancy and kind of whimsical and princess like, so I placed some tables around with lots of lighting. I went for kind of a gold, white and red theme, and I placed in one of the gazebos with some of those cute little tables we got in the Star Path underneath, and just lots of decor in there. So I love how Remy's looks, and I think the whole biome just kind of works really well together, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. I think this will stay like this for a very long time, to be honest. I do love having it city in my biomes, and will next move on to the peaceful meadow. So as we head down the stairs from the plaza, we obviously have this kind of grand entrance where you can see the fountain in front, so it's kind of this big centerpiece. But as we head to the left first, in here my theme was very much a kind of whimsical kind of cottagecore theme. I wanted it to be very overgrown, very floral, very bright. So the first point on the left is just the wishing well with Goofy's stall, just a simple little build there, and then just some weaving pathways out to the beach and back to the plaza. This kind of overgrown area, which I did explain in my Meadow build, will probably be where Daisy's house will go, as it will be next to Donald's boat, which is in this larger pond here. And as we head round, obviously as you can see, this massive craftable fountain is in the middle, surrounded by lots of bushes just to kind of hide that bottom part, and it really helps kind of tie all of the pathways together because it is a very overgrown biome. Now on the back left down corner we have got my Mickey village, as I call it, and in here we've got Goofy, Mickey and Minnie's homes. Now in here I just wanted it to be very kind of fitting for their characters, very bright, very open, so I just went with this kind of open courtyard theme with a little table tucked at the back with lots of food on for them to hang out at, and one of the new Mickey and Minnie fountains in the middle of the courtyard to kind of be a really nice centerpiece in here. I really love having all their houses together, and I think it ties really well in this spot in the meadow. They just fit really well in here, so I'm glad I kept them in here. Now as we head round to the left, you can see it is still obviously very overgrown. I've just got a cute little pink ice cream stand here just to kind of add a bit more colour. And as we head around to the right, we have Merlin's. Now Merlin's build for his home is very simple. I didn't want anything too complicated. I wanted it to be kind of simplistic and blend in really well with the greenery. So I did put a telescope and some other items outside there for him, but I wanted to keep it very kind of toned down and very simple for him. I think he'd like it that way. Now as we continue around, and on the far right kind of alcove section of the meadow, I included my home. Now I didn't do a build for my own home for such a long time, I just had it randomly placed, so I decided to finally do myself a build. So I included Beast's greenhouse in here because I love being able to see it all the time. It's such a nice furniture item, I love it. And I just included a lot of greenery and stuff for my house. I'll probably change up my house skin depending on what I'm thinking and feeling, and if we get any new ones I'll probably change it up, but I'm happy with that one for now. And the final section in the meadow is the mushroom cottage. Now this is probably one of my favourite premium shop skins we ever got for houses. If you didn't pick this up and you love it, definitely get it next time it comes around. It is so adorable. And outside the back of here I just did this cute little garden with a picnic blanket and some kind of arts and crafts things. I just think it felt really fitting in here for the mushroom house, and a lot of grass just to make it feel very overgrown, very kind of cozy, and fit the cottagecore theme I was going for in here. I really love how my meadow looks in general. I'll probably change it up at some point, but not anytime soon, as I'm very happy with how it's looking, and I can't wait till we get some more furniture as spring is coming. We hopefully in the next update will get some more kind of spring themed things to go in here. Now the next biome we are heading down to is obviously the Glade of Trust down on the right of the meadow. So as we come in, you can see in here it is a very overgrown biome. Now you'll see from all of my biomes as we walk around, majority of them are overgrown. There's only a couple that aren't, but in here I wanted to go for a very natural rustic look. I wanted to use the mud pathway so it looked very kind of like it was a natural pathway just from people walking through the trails rather than a very built up area. And I also wanted to have a very whimsical theme. I feel like the Glade of Trust with all the fireflies and just the tone of it just really feels like a place you'd find kind of like fairies and mystical things, so I wanted to keep that theme going. So I used a lot more colourful plants in here compared to the other biomes and kept it very whimsical. Now the first spot in here is the big campsite. I didn't know where to relocate this to. I originally had the forest, but I didn't have room for it anymore, so I did relocate it to the glade. I used some of the craftable DLC tents as well as Buzz's RV and just some tables, and created this really cute campsite. I absolutely love having this in here. I'm glad I could find a spot to relocate it. Now as we head across the kind of stone bridge from the campsite, we just have this really small section in the back corner for Ursula. Now I did originally have a big spot for her, but I just didn't have space in the glade to fit her in. Unfortunately, we cannot put her in the Forgotten Lands. Her house doesn't fit, so unfortunately she is down here, but I did add some kind of purple furniture and bushes and things like that to fit with the vibe for her. As we continue up from her house, we have my Alice table. Now this, I don't know if it will be staying. I may relocate this to the jungle in Eternity Isle when I finally get around to doing my jungle, but for now it is here. I love having it in here, but if I need to move it at some point I will kind of do a video on that and let you know. And then next to that, tucked into this spot, we have the new Lady Tremaine Manor House from the premium shop. This will probably be extended and go over where the Alice table is eventually, but I haven't really committed to that yet, so we will see. On the left of that we have the little pumpkin farm that obviously is part of Fairy Godmother's pumpkin house. I wanted to make sure she had her own pumpkin farm as it just really fit obviously with her home and was just a sweet little kind of nook area for her to hang out in. And as we carry on the pathway we go around to her home, which has just got this very overgrown pathway with lots of pumpkins and some of the vine lamps which fit really well with the theme of her house. I think they're perfect, and I just want it to be a very kind of cozy hidden pathway off to her house. Now next to her house is Gaston's home. I was originally going to put this in my kind of cottage village, but it just didn't fit, so I thought the best place to put this would be in the glade, and I'm really glad I did. I think it works really well, and I just gave him this little courtyard seating area outside the side of his home. Nothing too fancy, just some items that fit with his character. Before we head across the bridge we just have a lot of overgrown pathway leading us around to our Goofy stall, and obviously the bridge to get to Mother Gothel's house, as well as the other home on the right. Now as we head across the bridge, this area I have not done too much with. I've literally made it a very overgrown kind of hidden area. I wanted to use the rock pebbles instead of the pathway to make it seem like this very kind of secret area, as if Mother Gothel's house is hidden. Now obviously Mother Gothel's treehouse is huge, you cannot hide it, it is massive, but I wanted it to feel as though you'd ventured into the forest and stumbled upon this kind of crazy treehouse home. So that was kind of the look I went for in there. Nothing too crazy, just a very simple overgrown space. And as we head back across we go past Goofy's store as well as some seating, and then on the right we have the haunted mansion kind of courtyard. I wanted this to feel very much like an abandoned kind of southern American home. I wanted it to feel very kind of old school, as if someone way back in the day would live here. I did do a build with this on my channel, so if you do want to see how I kind of composed it all together, that is in the playlist for my channel. But I obviously kept this in the glade and I haven't actually changed this at all since doing it. I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I definitely think it's going to stay like this for a good while. As you can see, the overall theme of the glade was, as I said, something that was very whimsical and mythical, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And as we head down towards our next biome, you will see it is a lot less cluttered. Now as we head down to Dazzle Beach, I wanted to go for a very natural look in here. I didn't want it to be too overgrown, I wanted it to be very open, so there isn't too much in terms of foliage in here. So the first spot on the right is obviously Stitch's home, which fits perfectly in this little alcove area below the glade, and I wanted to keep it simple for him. I just wanted to have a table with lots of snacks where people could come and hang out, a barbecue, a little seating area where him and friends would come and hang out. I wanted it to be kind of simple for him. I feel like he would enjoy it that way. As we carry on through, you can obviously see all the water is decorated in this whole biome, which you'll see as we walk through. But on the right of the beach, we just have this little sunbathing area where there's a lifeguard tower to look out, and on the left we just have this little picnic blanket with an ice cream stand and some ice cream where people would hang out and enjoy. I kind of imagine the people who were sunbathing would go there and grab snacks. As we head across the bridge, we have our beachside bar. I loved making this. It is in my Dazzle Beach kind of whole build if you want to see how I did it, but it is a very simple build and it just brings a lot of character, and I kind of added some tables and some benches around to kind of put some food on and make it seem as though people would kind of come to the bar and hang out. As we head around to the kind of dock area, we have the well and we have Goofy's store, as well as lots of barrels and kind of eclectic items, and then the premium shop Eric's ship skin on the end of the dock and some little canoes on either side. I feel like this looks like he's docked in here and kind of gone and explored, and I really love that. Over on the island next to Skull Rock, I have displayed all my pillars. Now I did do a video kind of showing you different ways to display your pillars. I decided to actually keep them here on the beach. I feel like they work really well here and I actually really like how they looked. And behind that, tucked to the side, we just have Maui's home, which blends in really well with the look of the kind of build and it fit really well with the rock structures around here. Now as we head back across, you can see I have included some kind of big palm tree rock areas. These are really good to kind of build up the space and make it look less kind of bare and open, but not clutter it up too much. So I have included those and dotted them about. And then on this part of the beach we actually have Moana's boat with all her fish stocked up. I kind of like to keep the fish on there because it just looks so much nicer, so I have left them on there for now. And then next to that we have the Premium Shop Beach House, which I love. I will always recommend this house skin, it's so cute. And I just created this kind of little wooden decking leading to and from the beach house with a little kind of decking area with a stone jacuzzi from the DLC, as well as a little seating area where people can sit and hang out in the evenings, which Mickey is currently looking at. And as we head round from there, we head further down the beach towards our kind of bigger house section, which is for Moana's home. Now I wanted to make Moana a really beautiful kind of overgrown area. I feel like it fits her character, so I created this little pathway down to her home with lots of critters in the critter home and kind of seating areas, and I wanted it to feel very kind of homely. I created these chairs using Touch of Magic and placed them around a campfire, as well as having her pool back here with just some more seating and just lots of lights and lots of palm trees closing everything in. I included a lot of flowers, a lot of colour in here because I feel like it just fits Moana's character to have it very bright in here. As we head out there and head down to the last part of the beach, we just have this small little kind of area where I've put some of the rustic kind of yoga mats. I imagine this is where people would hang out and do some yoga in the mornings. And then on the right we've just got Ariel's home in the water with just some stepping stones to get to her home. And obviously again the theme of the kind of bright lily pads in the water continues throughout the whole ocean in here. I've kind of used up my item limit to utilize those in the water so it looks very bright and very colourful. And then the final thing in the biome is we just have some seating and some structures before we head up to our next biome, which is the Forest of Valor. Now we will be going in from the Plaza side because I prefer this entrance, so quick shift change, but we are going in from the Plaza. And we just have this little entranceway with the raccoon statues, which is so cute. And then as we go in, we obviously, as you can see, have a very cottagecore theme in here. It's very overgrown, very kind of jumbled and just bright, and I really love this biome. I think it is my favourite biome in the whole valley, to be honest. I didn't do a video on this because I did it a long time ago on stream, so I didn't have a video of how I did this, but if you ever want to know, I'm more than happy to kind of make a video going through my kind of process. But I did really love doing this when I did it. I did it a while ago and I've kept it the same ever since. Now the first spot is obviously Belle and Beast Castle, which fits perfectly in the forest. I think it looks so sweet. I've used some of the furniture for them, so the fountain as well as the gazebo and the picnic blanket and the dining table we get from their friendship quest. I wanted to give them loads of kind of bright, cozy, romantic spots up here. I wanted it to feel very fitting for their characters. I've also included a load of roses around as well as other red flowers just to fit and make it seem as though Beast has planted them for Belle. That was kind of my thought behind it, but I really love how their area looks. I think I like the fact that it's very hidden away but still very bright and open. Now as we head around the winding path to the right, we just continue with some more of the kind of overgrown look before we head to Rapunzel's Tower. I really love having Rapunzel's Tower in the forest. I think it fits perfectly. So I gave her this kind of small little area with just a little cushioned seating area. I included lots of the lanterns that we just got in the star path, as well as this kind of art courtyard area. I really loved creating this. I wanted it to feel like people would come and hang out and Rapunzel would teach them how to paint and draw, and they would kind of have this communal area. And it was also helpful because it has a crafting table in it, which is perfect when I'm on the go questing up in the forest. It means I can kind of easily access the crafting table. Now as we come out of Rapunzel's and continue on to the right, we just have some seating areas. Again, with the water in here, I made it very overgrown and very kind of bright with the lily pads. I wanted it to feel very whimsical, very mythical in here and give off a very kind of fairy vibe. I just wanted it to feel really kind of romantic and sweet up here. The exit to Dazzle Beach is just again very overgrown, so I will briefly show you it just so you get an idea that everything kind of continues throughout. And as we head down, we can obviously see on our right we have got our Disney castle. I wanted to place this in the forest. It just worked really well up here, and I just gave it some simple decoration. I used the pumpkin carriage as well as Cinderella lanterns just to tie it all together and make it seem as though a princess would live here. As we continue on, you can see I've just included an archway before we lead up to the Frosted Heights, and just this cute little courtyard area with a campfire where people would sit and hang out, as well as a picnic blanket before we go into our village. Now as we cross over, this is the cottagecore village I did on my channel. The video will be up in one of the playlists where you can see how I created this particular part of the forest, but I love how this turned out. I feel like this is going to be like this for a very long time. I just love the layout of it, and I think it works really well in here. I'm worried they're going to give us some more kind of cottagey houses, and I'm not going to have space to fit them in, but we will figure it out. I didn't do too much decoration around Elsa's cave. I'm really hoping one day we get a house for her, because I don't know why she's still in a cave, but she is. But I did very light decoration there and created a little courtyard with Goofy and Kristoff's stall, with one of the rustic clock towers in the middle, just to make it seem like a kind of village courtyard area before we head round to Belle's Provincial Library, which we recently got. I love this. I think it's so sweet here and just fits well up here. We've also got some seating with lots of books and food where people can hang out, a craftable well, and then opposite that we have the Snuggly Duckling Tavern, which I think looks super cute up here. I think it's one of the best skins we've got in the game so far. And on the right of that we just have a little winding stone pathway leading up to the back of the Frosted Heights, with again lots of lights, seating and everything like that. Now as we head up to the Frosted Heights, we are going to go from the main icy staircase. It's the best way to come in my opinion. And as you can come in, we can see it's very overgrown in here with lots of blue trees. We've got a little seating area, and on the left we have our well and a telescope. And I did include the fountain that we originally had in the Forgotten Lands up here. I think the colour of it just works really well, and the seating around the edge has just provided a really nice cozy space to sit. And opposite that is Goofy's stall. Now as we head across the icy bridge, we have our kind of winter themed area, I would say. The water again in here is very overgrown, very bright, but as we head into the frozen area we have Anna, Kristoff and Olaf's home, and just lots of decor out here to fit their characters. I wanted it to feel very icy, as if you stepped into another world, and included a lot of the frozen furniture like the Anna statue and the throne and the fountains. Everything in here just tied really well together. And as we carry down we just have some more seating, and in front we have the Frosted Fortress skin from the premium shop, as well as lots of other kind of snow themed items like an igloo with lots of snowmen. We have the ice skating rink tucked in the back corner, which I really like this spot for it, as well as Kristoff's sled, and just this really cute winding stone pathway leading down to the forest. It's a very natural path, and I wanted to create kind of secret areas in here and make it seem very natural, so I kind of went for a lot of rock pathways throughout the biomes. Now as we continue through, you can see I've included a lot of the wintry lampposts we got in the Star Path last winter. I feel like these work really well in here, and I wanted to make sure I included a lot of the stuff from that Star Path in the biome, as it obviously just worked perfectly up in here. And as we continue through we will head back round to where we first started, by the main staircase. Now as you saw when we first came in, there's just a little seating area on the left which is super cute. And carrying on we have our wintry palace skin from the premium shop. I just placed a fountain outside and some of the lion statues. I think these lion statues work really well because they're like a blue icy colour. I don't know why they're that colour, but they are, and they work perfectly. Outside that we've just got some of the reindeer lights, and as we head around to the right we then just have a lot of more overgrown area, and in the back garden of the wintry palace we have a Christmas tree and just this really cute Christmas dining table. I absolutely love how this looks and seems such like a Christmas dining table, with a little snowman watching on as you have your Christmas dinner. Now as we go to the final section, this, as you can see, is a very bright and colourful section. This is my Christmas area. Now this stays all year round. I love Christmas. Christmas has to be somewhere in my valley. So this is where I display everything Christmassy. So we obviously have the carousel, we have the train track in the middle with all the presents and the tree. I included the Sweet House and Vanellope's house up here as they're just kind of the best spots for them to go, to be honest. I didn't really know where else to put them. So they work really well up here and create this really cute Christmas Candyland. Now the next biome, we are back in the Plaza and we are going to head up to the Sunlit Plateau on the opposite side of the map. And as you can see instantly from coming in here, this is a very overgrown biome once again. This one I wanted to feel very jungle themed. I wanted to use a lot of inspiration from the jungle on Eternity Isle. But the first spot that is a bit more desolate and barren is obviously Scar's area. I did keep his house in this area. I think it's the perfect place for him. And I wanted to decorate it as kind of just this very barren, very dried out area. I included some of the desert items from the DLC like the cacti and things like that to make it seem very kind of dry and more like a dried out savannah in here. That was kind of the theme I went for, keeping that savannah essence, whereas with the rest of the plateau I have gone for a more kind of jungle theme. I did include some of the foliage from the plateau, but very jungle themed. We have a little seating area on the left hand side when you first come in, and as you can see straight ahead you have Mirabelle's casita, and I just think this works perfectly in the plateau. The colours of the house just fit beautifully. I was debating for a long time moving her to Eternity Isle, but I'm actually happy with the spot I've kept her in now. I did include one of her tables with lots of food where she can enjoy food with her family, and I did put Wally's garden here. I moved Wally to Eternity Isle and I didn't know what to do with his little garden area, so I thought Mirabelle can look after it for him, and he does come often and kind of see it, and they have these really cute conversations by it. It's very, very sweet. But I definitely wanted to have someone that would look after his garden for him, and he can come and visit and see how they're getting on and give them tips and tricks. So I thought Mirabelle would be good for that. As we head round to the other pathway, we obviously have this open courtyard area, and before we look at that we head down this very overgrown jungly pathway, and down here we have this really big beautiful waterfall item we got, and I just think it fits perfectly in here. It's like you're weaving through the jungle to find the waterfall, kind of explore this area. This pathway is just very overgrown with lots of lights. It has one of the trees with the swinging chairs on that you can hang out in, and I love this pathway. I know there's not much here in terms of furniture or homes or anything like that, but it feels so much like you're in the middle of a jungle, and I really love how everything kind of came together in here and works really well to create this kind of cozy area. As we head back through, you can see in this courtyard we have Goofy's stall. I've included some of the fruit and veg stands as well and created this little mini seating area. I feel like it just works really well in this spot. We obviously have our well, and we have a little rock pathway leading off to the mine just so we can access it at all times, as we never know when we're going to need it. And as we head across the bridge, you can see in the water here I went for a very natural look. I didn't use too much foliage. I wanted the water to look quite clear. And as we head through, we have our kind of jungle cafe. Now, if you saw my video doing my Sunlit Plateau, it is on the channel in one of the playlists. I wanted this to feel like a restaurant that's called Rainforest Cafe that I went to as a kid, where you basically had this very jungle themed restaurant. That was the vibe I went for that. I'm very happy with how that turned out. I think it's a really cute little spot to have in the plateau, and kind of breaks it away from this very overgrown, unkept area, and just kind of has these areas of seating and life to it. As we head round, we obviously have more overgrown pathways, and on the left we have Simba and Nala's home and just a little lagoon lake outside the side of it. I included a lot of the fruit trees in here so I can kind of collect them as I go around. I kind of like to do that in my biomes now and have them in biomes that they fit in. And then we have this cute little seating area which I really like having in this corner, just for people to hang out and enjoy, and just a little seat by the water so you can look out on it. Again, I kept the big lake very open. I didn't want too much foliage in there, but I still had the odd bits just to bring some life to it. Now as we head up into the Forgotten Lands, we are going to go from Scar's area just because it makes more sense logistically. And as you can see instantly when we come in here, it is a very gloomy area but with a big pop of purple throughout the biome. I used purple lanterns to really lighten this area up, but as we first go in, we have our graveyard. As you can see, I've created sort of mini graveyard areas and used some of the statues we have in the game to mimic graves. I hope we get some more statues at some point so I can add to this, but I did include some apple trees out the front. Now in here, the fruit trees I used were the apple trees to represent Snow White with the poison apples, so that was kind of my theming in here, I guess. On the left we then have the wishing well. I wanted a really simple setup for the well, so I just used some pillars and a hill at the back. And on the right and left we have two different homes. On the right we have the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion. I absolutely love this house skin, I think it's beautiful. I included one of the cars out the front to kind of pretend it was in the driveway. And then tucked around the back of the home we just have the Haunted Mansion piano, which I just think looks really cute in here. And then we have our little shrine area, which I've just decorated with some sweets that we are offering to Zero to try and encourage him to come and visit us. That's kind of my thought behind it. I didn't really know what to do with it because we can't move the shrine, so I just went with it, to be honest. As we come out directly opposite, we have our kind of spooky castle, I think that's what it was called, from the premium shop. It's this really cool dark purple castle home. I just gave it a very simple courtyard area with some pumpkins and some trees and very overgrown. And as we head around to the left past the sort of tree house that we can't move, please let us move it. But at the moment we can't, so I just created a little potion area opposite that. And then in the corner before you go down to the plateau we have our haunted mansion. I love having this here, I think it fits really well. And next to that we have Jack's home. Now for Jack's home I wanted to give him his own little garden area with all his stuff and his kind of grand entranceway into his home with the skeleton hill on full show and Zero just wandering around all the time to kind of greet him when he comes out of his house. As we head out of there we go to our final section of the biome, which is this kind of mini courtyard village area. I kind of wanted this to feel like a little mini courtyard, I guess, and so I included a fountain as well as Goofy stall, which I find so hard to integrate in biomes like this because it does kind of just stick out like a sore thumb. So I did my best to do that, and as you can see the pathway is very vast, very bright with lots of purple lighting. I wanted it to feel very overgrown in here, very spooky, and with just these pockets of things you can discover with the purple light kind of creating an atmosphere of a villainous vibe. So here are some final shots of each biome just to kind of show you a brief overview of the main areas. I'm very happy my valley is done. I mean, it's hard because I know there's probably going to be biomes that I'm going to need for dream snaps, and I'm going to have to think, do I really want to take stuff down just to do a dream snap? Now I am going to be trying to do them in Eternity Isle, but you never know, I may have to use some of these biomes for dream snaps, which means I will have to at some point move things in and out, but I will keep it as it is for a very long while. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my entire completed valley. As I said at the start, I have played around just under 1,000 hours of the game and my valley did not take me that long. I promise you I have redone my valley about 7 times probably, and I probably will redo it again at some point, to be honest. But it will not take that long to do a valley. Trust me, once you get the ball rolling with it and you come up with kind of an idea for each biome, just do one at a time, set your mind to it and take inspiration from those in the community. I'm more than happy to help people if they're a little bit stuck. Do let me know down below if you are struggling or if you took any inspiration from this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my completed valley, and I will see you for more builds on the channel soon. Have a nice week. Bye.